So by the end of this video, you'll have some simple and helpful tips on how to cope when you get hurt by someone and how to avoid emotional damage. So if you're watching this, you've probably been told by someone that you need to develop a thicker skin. You've been told to just get over it a few too many times. Or you've been described as overly sensitive. Or a term that I think has been used by the media a bit too much and for the wrong reasons sometimes, a snowflake. But I'm here to tell you that there is absolutely nothing to feel bad about. You do you, okay? What I am here to do is to give you the tools to better withstand emotional damage, so that you find it all a little bit easier to deal with. Now, with that said, let's begin, shall we? So the first thing that I think is important to understand is a highly sensitive person, or HSP for short, has a more sensitive nervous system which allows them to perceive information at a more deeper level than most others can, and they can respond to stimuli more strongly. It's actually a biological condition which affects 15 to 20% of everyone in the world. A HSP is more likely to see things going on deeper below the surface that most of us just can't. And some signs that you or someone else might be a HSP could be: you're easily overwhelmed and need more time to decompress, you react more to cruelty and have strong moral principles, and where some people might call you a drama queen for something like this, you're actually a bit more passionate than most. So, establishing what it means to be sensitive, how exactly can we make it easier on ourselves when we get hurt and suffer emotional damage? So, as I mentioned at the start of this video, not only have you been told by others, but you're probably also telling yourself that you need to start being stronger, tougher, and not cry as easily or get offended as easily. But you know what? Yes, I get that, but without any of this behaviour, you just wouldn't be you. And by saying those things that I just mentioned, all you're doing is invalidating your feelings and pushing them aside to create a potentially bigger problem later. By accepting your sensitive nature, you'd be more accepting of yourself, which ultimately leads to you feeling a bit more comfortable in your own skin, and you feel a lot less unsure of yourself and a lot less embarrassed when you do get overly emotional. This will also take away some of the power that others think that they have over you. And if you think about it, sensitivity, it's a superpower. It actually allows you to feel more deeply about everything, and I don't just mean the bad stuff like fear or the confusion or the self-doubt and all that kind of stuff. I mean all the good stuff as well. You know, all the good stuff like joy and happiness, the whole 9 yards, baby. So you know that you're sensitive, and you know that you're going to get emotional when you get hurt, and what the clinical term might be is dysregulated, when you really get overly emotional. But what you have to remember is that in life there are going to be instances when you're going to be overwhelmed, and when you get hurt and when your feelings get hurt, you're going to need something to soothe yourself, something to make you feel relaxed and comforted. Examples of this can be aromatherapy and essential oils that promote a feeling of calm. I actually have a video that goes into a lot more detail on this, so I'll put that in the description below. And it could be watching a movie or a TV show that you've seen like a million times, and because you've seen these things a million times before, your brain isn't working so hard to pay attention to them, so it's a lot easier to relax, and they're associated with happy feelings which can be soothing. But salad cream, boy, you gorgeous YouTubist, I hear you ask, what exactly do you mean by that? Well, flattering viewer, allow me to illuminate you. Let me give you an example. So when I used to work in the NHS, for those of you who aren't in the UK, that's the National Health Service, and I worked there for a number of years, anyone who's actually worked there and anyone who still does work there would tell you that it's a highly stressful environment. I got shouted at by patients on a daily basis, I got told by my managers and a lot of other people that I was doing things wrong all the time, which actually triggered the stress that led to all those mistakes, but that's a story for another time. And there were times where I was literally in the middle of the room waiting for an answer on something from either my manager or one of the doctors to deal with the patients, and I'd stand there and I'd actually feel like I just want to burst out in tears right there in the middle of the room. And in a situation where you're in front of patients or you're in an office situation, that's not exactly a good look, is it? So to combat this, I would actually take short breaks by either going to the toilet or making a cup of tea or something in the kitchen, anything to take me out of the situation. And no one can really tell you that you don't need a toilet or you don't need a drink. And what that did was it gave me a bit of time to be with myself. It allowed me to shed a few tears, splash some water on my face. It allowed me to do what I needed to do to process so that I could get back out there in a more calm and collected state. And this doesn't necessarily have to apply to your work situation either. In any situation where you feel that you just got hurt or your feelings got hurt, just walk away, go to another room, go outside, go to your car, and just take a little bit of time, whatever you need. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes or whatever. Just that little bit of time to decompress and just process the situation so you can get back in there. Okay, I know that this might not be for everyone, as it can be seen as a weakness or over dramatic. And yes, there is a limit to how much I really do suggest you do this, as if you do it too much it can lead down the road of depression. But it can be used as a really healthy tool just to get out what you need to get out in that moment. Okay, I know this might sound a bit cheesy, but for someone who's highly sensitive, one of the things that they experience is low self-esteem. And a big way to help with this is that you can start using affirmations in your life. This can be used at the start of the day or even at the end of the day when it gets dark. And it can help you to stay a bit more positive and make you feel a bit better about yourself. And really, you can also use it anytime that you feel really bad, and it will especially help you feel good if you start using it on a regular basis, which will actually help to soften the blow when you do get hurt or experience emotional damage. And by this, I'm not just talking about your mental or emotional health, I'm actually talking about your physical health as well. In many of my videos I actually mention that there is a bit of a link here. Healthy body, healthy mind and all that. So by getting a good night's sleep, adopting a good grooming or a good morning routine, getting enough exercise and eating the right foods, they all contribute to you feeling better about yourself and make you feel better about taking on any obstacles. For me, I would have to say that this is my wife. But I would advise that you approach someone that you can trust, someone that won't judge you and will show you some compassion and can empathize with you and just give you a little bit of comfortable feedback. Or at the very least, someone who will just listen to you and let you just get it off your chest. If needed, you can even go to your doctor and get yourself referred to some kind of talking therapy. So the thing is, a lot of sensitive people kind of feel unhappy a lot of the time because they know they're sensitive about things. So I've actually got a few tricks on what you can do to feel a lot more happier in your life, and you can do this by just clicking on this video that's showing right here, because at the end of the day it gets dark.